Well, we were at a tryout camp, and we had about 13 guys there. And I was talking to somebody else down in the dugout, and my scout, who was with me, has passed away. Now, Doug Gassaway came running in from center field and said that little guy just threw 93 miles an hour to second base. So we kind of shut down everything and concentrated on Pudge. We had him swing the bat, run the 60-yard dash, and I asked. He threw for me, and he threw one pitch, and I said, "That's it. That's enough. Let's get this guy done." And that's it.
I mean, he was head and shoulders above everybody else. You know, whether you knew he was going to be a good player, Hall of Fame, who knows? But I mean, you know, the way he went about the business, the way he catch and throw and hit. I mean, even then, he didn't pull the ball much. He was good to right center field, which is hard to teach, and he already had it.
There was an injury, and we needed a catcher. And I remembered back to spring training when Orlando Gomez made the comment, he was our scout in Puerto Rico and a minor league manager, that the best catcher in the organization was Pudge Rodriguez. And so I said, that's pretty good, counting AAA catchers and everything. No, senor, that's big leagues down to rookie league. He is our best catcher. So we called to Tulsa. He was in AA baseball, asked for Pudge, and they said, well, there's only one complication. He's supposed to get married at home plate at our ballpark in Tulsa the next day. And we said, all right, well, let him get married at home plate, and we'll have him in Chicago the day after that. So they talked to Pudge, and Pudge said, no, I can get married, but I'm going to the big leagues.
His major league debut, because I just remember he and his first wife, Maribel, in the hotel at the Westin in Chicago. And you know, they're 19 years old and they look so young. And he didn't speak a lot of English. He plays that night, goes 2 for 4, throws out a guy, has a game-winning hit. And you know, he comes up to his locker and all these media come around him. And for the first time I realized this guy can't answer questions in English. And you know, I had to get Orlando Gomez, who was our bullpen catcher, to come in and translate and everything. And that was really the first time I kind of realized, okay, this guy's going to be here a while. We need to do something about this, and you know, get somebody on staff who can help facilitate this.
And it was pretty evident once we got to see Pudge play that he was special. So I learned how to play other positions quickly.
Yeah, we helped him between, you know, Julio, Juan Gonzalez, and I, who was part of the help with him so he can keep going and do his skill that was over a lot of other players that play with us. We know that as soon as we saw him in big leagues and do what he was doing, if he didn't get hurt, he was going to have a beautiful career.
But he just kept working so hard. You know, he wanted to swing all the time. He wanted to do drills. But there was a little group together that were all the same way. So it wasn't just him. So, you know, Ruben was a hard worker. You know, Juan was a really hard worker. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I remember coming back from a game and then in the hallways and their floor, Juan and them would be doing sit-ups.
Well, you know, we didn't know much about Pudge, but in that same season where he got called up when he was 19, I remember a game in Toronto, and Pudge is catching in Toronto, and there was a foul ball that bounced in the dirt and came up and hit him in the groin area. And of course, it hurt, and you know, he grabbed that area and he's walking around trying to walk it off. And he's starting to get okay after maybe 30 seconds. And on their video board, he looked up and saw it in slow motion. And we could watch it. And as it came up and hit him in slow motion, he went, oh, and he kind of turned and looked at the crowd, and 300 or 400 people smiled with Pudge. As he smiled to them, they all stood up and they all clapped. Now he's 19 years old playing in the big leagues, and that's when you say, okay, we know he can catch, we know he can throw, we know he can hit, but this kid's got a little bit something extra going for him.
I remember that year we used to, with all the players, we'd have a charity auction for the foundation at the end of the year, and you'd give the player their home jersey, and then we had one on the auction. and I bought Pudge's rookie jersey. And I told my son, I gave it to my son, and I said, this kid's going to be in the Hall of Fame. You just wait and see. So.
Wow.
And the nice things he was saying about the Rangers and what we did for him as a young player and helped him to grow up and mature as a major leaguer. I mean, it meant a lot to me, and I think it's nice to watch him kind of reminisce about his Rangers career and everything as to how special it was. And the fact we were able to bring him back into the organization, after he retired, has kind of cemented that bond. And I think it really does mean a lot for him to go in as a Ranger, and he's kind of reiterated that over and over. And I think that you'll see that in his speech on Sunday.